So this is our gym, it's called My Gym. And myself and my wife Natalie, we run this gym and have several personal trainers and staff working here. Growing up in Bradford, it had its own challenges, especially with drugs. And drugs were a popular thing and still are a popular thing over in Bradford and England. And even in the school, so growing up in school, cannabis was readily available, and even some kids at school were taking acid called trips and microdots. So I got to about the age of 15, and I think it was more down to peer pressure. People are experimenting, and you kind of live up to standards. Even if you don't take something, or you don't smoke, or you don't try something, you're looked upon like, oh, you're soft, or you're not one of the lads. And so I kind of got into smoking cannabis from the age of 15. Before I knew it, I found myself when I was 18 years old, 19, of going out partying big time in the club scene and taking the likes of ecstasy and cocaine, and just experiment with anything apart from the acid. I didn't touch the acid, I was too scared. But I lived this really dramatic party lifestyle where I used to live for the weekend. So everything was geared for the weekend, and it was pretty destructive, but didn't realise in the moment. But I got to about 22, and my life was in a real bad place because of the drugs, mostly. And my friend actually took me to church, and I knew I just wanted to change my life. And I went to church, and I had a real encounter. And so I walk in, and they're all worshipping, and I start crying like a baby, not understanding why I'm crying. I'm thinking this is actually bad, because I'd walked in, I thought there's some nice girls in here as well. I thought, flipping, now I'm crying, and this is all going wrong. So I really believed and knew that God loved me. That was the thing, without anybody telling me that. And I come out with my mate who took me there, and I said to him in the car, I said, I do not know what's just happened in that building. In that moment, when I was 22 in July, I became a Christian and decided I want to take this route in life. Taking the drugs and experimenting all these different drugs, it just takes you out of yourself. You kind of lose yourself. That's what I would say if I looked back in hindsight now. I think you just kind of, you live for that buzz. So you lose reality in life, in what's really going on. And I tell you, the big thing what drugs really did to me is, and that lifestyle, is everybody thought I was somebody that I wasn't. So, and that was the thing. When I was out and everyone's partying and you're taking drugs and you're getting off your head, everyone thinks you're the man or you're cool or whatever. And I understand why it's looked upon like that, because of the feelings that it brings with it. But when I got home, in my own four walls, I wasn't the same person as who I was out in the club. And that was the challenge for me. And that's why I was kind of searching myself, really, like, what is the purpose of life? Big question that I was asking myself, like, who am I? Who am I? And I didn't know who I was, because I'm one thing out in the club, but I'm another thing at home in my own four walls, where I feel a little bit insecure, if I'm honest. I didn't realise that at the time, but I just didn't feel good. But the reality was I didn't feel good because I was actually insecure, and I was trying to be something and somebody that I actually wasn't. And that was one of the major impacts in a negative way that I believe drugs play on people's lives. Life now, well, life's mental now, as it was before, but in a different way. So life running a business, I'm one of the pastors at the church, so I have a responsibility there, and sometimes I would preach on a rota at the church and have influence from a leadership perspective in the church. Me and my wife also have 3 kids. So our eldest is 4, Afia, she's a girl. Our next child is 17 months. He's a wee tank. He's a bit like me. He's a mini me, but pale. He's fair hair and blue eyes like his mum, but he's just like Dad. Behaves like me as well. And he's 17 months, yeah. So, and then the youngest is just turned 3 months. So when you have 3 children under 4, it's pretty full on. So it's just, life's a journey now in a different way. It's challenging in a different way, where kids are there's so much fun. My message to young people, especially in this generation now, is to really discover who you are. I think you've got to understand how you're wired, because that was something that I didn't understand about myself growing up, and I didn't have anybody to help me with that. Purpose is important, because I was taking drugs because I didn't have no purpose, and I was looking for a buzz, I was looking for fulfillment, I was looking for a high, I was looking for That's what I was looking for, purpose, but I just didn't realise that's what I was looking for until I found my purpose and what God's purpose was for my life. And so purpose is a big thing for young people to really discover. So yeah, but it's great. Love life.